Joe Biden's efforts to bring down tensions in the escalating war between Israel and Hamas faced massive setbacks even before he departed for West Asia. Jordan called off the U.S. president's planned summit with Arab leaders after a deadly explosion at a Gaza hospital killed hundreds. The postponement of the Amman summit comes after Palestinian leader Mahmoud Abbas withdrew from the scheduled meetings in protest of the attacks. The Hamas-run health ministry in Gaza blamed an Israeli airstrike. The Israeli military said it had no involvement and pinned the blame on a misfired Palestinian rocket. Jordan's foreign minister said, and I'm quoting here, "This war and this aggression are pushing the region to the brink." He stated Jordan would only host the summit when all participants agreed on its proposal, which would be to stop the war and respect the humanity of Palestinians. While in the air, Biden released a statement saying he was outraged, deeply saddened by the explosion at the hospital and that the terrible loss of life that resulted. He said he spoke immediately after hearing the news with King Abdullah II of Jordan and Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu. Biden added he has directed his national security team to continue gathering information of what exactly happened. The cancellation of the Jordan leg of this trip reflects an increasingly volatile situation that will test the limits of American influence in the region. Here's why the Jordan summit was crucial for the U.S. president. The Israel-Palestine conflict has been going on for decades, and to a large extent, it's involved the same cadre of leaders. Netanyahu is the longest-serving prime minister in Israeli history. Abbas has been the Palestinian president for nearly 20 years. King Abdullah II has been king since 1999. Biden has called the Jordanian king a loyal ally in the tough neighborhood. Al-Sisi is the newest leader, president of Egypt since 2014. Furious protesters tried to storm the Israeli embassy in Amman, where Biden was due to meet Arab leaders. Lebanon's Iran-backed Hezbollah called for a day of rage over the strike to coincide with Biden's arrival. It fueled fears of the very escalation by Tehran and its allies that the U.S. president's visit is supposed to warn against. Tear gas was fired near the U.S. embassy in Lebanon at protesters. Hundreds of angry protesters gathered outside the French embassy in Tunisia on Tuesday, also denouncing the United States. In Iraq, scores of protesters gathered near Baghdad's Green Zone following the Gaza Hospital blast. Hundreds in the Iranian capital of Tehran protested against Israel outside the French and UK embassies, and apart from funding Hamas, Israel's arch-foe backs Hezbollah in Lebanon. French President Emmanuel Macron said nothing can justify targeting civilians and called for humanitarian access without delay. Qatar's foreign ministry called the hospital strike a dangerous escalation in the course of the confrontations. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan condemned the incident as the latest example of Israeli attacks devoid of the most basic human values. The UN Human Rights Chief Volker Turk called the hospital strike totally unacceptable, insisting that the perpetrators must be held accountable. UN Chief Guterres called for immediate humanitarian ceasefire in Israel-Hamas conflict. Russia and the United Arab Emirates called for an emergency UN Security Council meeting. European Union's Charles Michel said that targeting civilian infrastructure in Gaza breaks international law. The African Union chief Moussa Faki Mohammed accused Israel of a war crime following the deadly strike. The World Health Organization condemned the deadly strike, demanded the immediate protection of civilians and health care in the Gaza Strip. Now, for more on this, we were earlier also joined by Lester Munson from Washington, D.C. He is the senior fellow at the National Security Institute. Listen into his insights.
I think we need to have an investigation and see what the facts show. There does seem to be a decent case that this may have been a rocket fired from Gaza, possibly by Palestinian Islamic Jihad. They were launching missiles from that very area. Their missiles are not of high quality and are known to misfire and have been known to kill Palestinians. That happens on a regular basis. So I don't know that what the facts are. I think they need to be determined, but I think we owe both sides a little grace in this terrible situation. And I think people should stop jumping to conclusions about how this happened and maybe let cooler heads prevail. Well, I think this is a very volatile situation. A tragedy has happened. There's a reaction on the street to what people think they understand about the situation. That puts political leaders in a very difficult spot. There's no doubt about that. I am sure that the Biden administration is working behind the scenes right now to put back together these meetings and try to build some sort of path forward here for a successful resolution of this crisis. So I think we shouldn't jump to too many conclusions ourselves about the current state. It is certainly in chaos, but I expect professional diplomats, political leaders to say the things that they need to say and perhaps get to a place where they can reconstruct these meetings. It is important that folks get together and have discussions about humanitarian access and other aspects of what we are likely to see in the coming days. So while the situation is tragic, I'm a little bit hopeful that some of this can be put back together in the next few hours.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.